what's new and exciting? It's Kevin O'Shaughnessy here, and today I'm going to give you some of my favorite stretches, and along the way I will explain how they are important to your daily life and playing the guitar. So stretching is a pretty important thing. You want to try to do this on a basically daily basis, whether you're actively playing the guitar or not. It's going to help your posture, it's going to help blood flow, and it's going to help you reduce a little bit of stress. Now, I like to work on sort of a top-down method, okay? And we're just going to focus on upper body stretches today because those are the ones that are the most relevant to also playing the guitar. Now, first thing you want to do is make sure that you are in a good upright posture, okay? So if you see my previous videos on posture, we've got the up, back method. If you haven't seen that, you definitely want to go check that out. I will put a link in the description below. So once you are in a good upright posture, I like to start with the neck. We can hold tension in the neck, especially if during your day job you're looking at a computer or keyboard or you got your head down a lot of times. We hold our neck in strange places. Plus, I've found that tension in the neck can also cause tension in the shoulders or in the upper back, okay? Because all of these muscles are connected. So I like to start here, and here's what I like to do. It's a very simple exercise. I'm going to just take my left hand and I'm going to put it on the side of my head, and I'm just going to pull it down toward my left shoulder. Now while I'm doing that, I'm going to take my right arm and I'm just going to extend it down as far as I can toward the floor. Generally I count to 20, and if you need to fine-tune the stretch, you can turn your head a little bit on this axis, just a couple of degrees in each direction until you find where the stretch feels the most effective. You're going to feel it somewhere in here, obviously, and so you don't want it to hurt. You just want to be able to feel that tug. Count to 20. When you're done with that, you do the other side. Hand comes up, pull the head down towards the shoulder, take your opposite hand and try to stretch it toward the floor, and you should feel a pretty good stretch, basically from your ear, possibly through your shoulder, depending on how tense you might be at the moment. You know, again, turn that head ever so slightly to fine-tune the stretch, and once you find the good spot, you count to 20 and then slowly release it. Once I feel pretty good with the next stretch that I'm going to do is going to open up these muscles of the chest. Now, I've talked in my posture video, right, the up, back, the final back portion of it is to get the shoulders back. You don't want to hunch your shoulders forward like this, right? You want to get your shoulders, you want to get your sternum up and your shoulders back. That's going to be harder to do if these muscles here are tight. So what I do is I take my hands, I put them behind my back, and I clasp them together, and I straighten my arms. And you should feel right in your pecs, you should really feel this stretch start to pull that chest open. You're also going to be flexing or contracting, shortening the muscles of the upper back. This is also going to help your posture. Now, one thing you want to make sure to avoid is don't let your butt stick out like this, okay? Or your head lean forward. Again, we want to maintain the good posture. So find your neutral pelvis, right? Hold that forward. Use that belly button. Pull back the belly button to hold that in place and keep the neck up like this, okay? And you want to just, again, once you find that stretch, count to 20 and then slowly release it. Next, I like to work on the arms, okay? We're going to stretch out the tricep, and actually we're going to do a little lean. We're going to compound this a little bit and stretch out some of the muscles on the side of our rib cage as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right arm and I'm going to put it behind my left scapula, right? My left shoulder blade, if you're familiar with that term instead, okay? And then I'm going to take my other arm, in this case my left arm, I'm going to bring it up over my head, I'm going to grab my elbow, and I'm going to pull my arm to the left until I start to feel a stretch in my tricep. Now to compound this, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lean a little bit to the left. And now I'm going to feel that stretch basically from my elbow all the way down to my hip, right? Some of those muscles, because there's a few different muscles that are getting stretched at this point, some of them are going to feel like they're getting stretched more than others, but you're basically working out the entire side of your body. And just like doing the stretch with the arms clasped behind your back, don't let your shoulders fall forward like this. Remember to keep them up. Don't let your butt stick out behind you, okay, right? Remember to keep that pelvis neutral. And once you find your good position, count to 20, and then slowly release it, and then of course you can do the other side. The last section that I work on is the forearm. Okay, now if you remember from another video that I did, there are no muscles in your fingers, so if you want to really loosen up your fingers, the place you need to start is in your forearm, because these are the muscles that control your fingers. The muscles on the top of your forearm here control extension. The muscles on the bottom control flexion. So we want to stretch both of these out. So if you take your arm, put it in a supinated orientation, right? This means that the palm is up. Take your right hand, put it on top of your left, and bend down like this. So you're facing your palm completely forward. Now what you're going to do is you're going to turn your fingers toward the center line of your body, and you should feel a stretch right along in here. Okay? So hands together, turn the fingers. Now if you flex your elbow just a few degrees in either direction, you can fine-tune the stretch so that you feel it. Now it's not a huge stretch. It's not like if you're trying to touch your toes to stretch out your hamstrings. Like you really feel that one. This one I find is a little bit more subtle, but it's very, very useful. Again, you find the right position, you count to 20, nice and slow, and then you release it. Now pronate your hand, okay, so now your palm is down, reach over the top like so, and flex. All right, now you're going to once again turn the fingers toward the center line, and you're going to feel that stretch right in here. Again, a little more subtle than some of the other stretches, but very, very useful. Bend the elbow ever so slightly to fine-tune it. Once you find that spot, count to 20 and then release. Once you're done with that, go ahead and do the other arm. Now the way I like to finish off my stretching routine is with something that I just call the toothpaste tube. It probably has an official name. I've never learned it, but all I do is I take my hand, I put it on top of my forearm like so, and I squeeze my arm, and just like I'm trying to get toothpaste out of a tube, I just run it along the muscles of the arm. And then I put it on the bottom. I'll do the same thing, and maybe I'll do the sides as well. It sort of depends on how tight my forearm is feeling. All right, if I need to, I'll dig my fingers into a particular muscle and just try to pull that down as well. And this kind of breaks up the muscle, it increases the circulation, and overall just helps loosen everything so it feels a bit more relaxed. Lastly, I'll take basically that same toothpaste tube idea. I'll grab each finger and I will pull accordingly. Like I said, there are no muscles in the fingers, so we're not actually stretching muscles at this point, but we're opening up the joints, we're giving them a little bit more space to move, and we are increasing blood flow to the fingers. This should help them, again, stay relaxed while you're playing, and it should also make them a little easier to move a little bit more quickly as you go from chord to chord or note to note, etc. Now, as a little bonus tip, if you've been experiencing pain in your hand, perhaps if you're practicing bar chords and stuff like that, your thumb, behind your thumb, does have some muscles in it, and this is an area that can get strained if you're trying to practice bar chords, for example, for too long, and you're really pushing that thumb against the neck. So this is one of those things where just massaging the muscle can be very, very helpful. I usually go from the center line of the hand with my thumb and push out toward the tip of my thumb like so. And just keep working that out for a couple of minutes, maybe a minute or so, until it starts to feel like it's loosening up a little bit. And you should find some relief from that pain. I would do this a little bit before you do your bar chord practice and certainly after. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, please like the video and share it with anybody else you think might get some benefit out of it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will answer them as quickly as I can. If you'd like to see more content like this, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and adjust your notifications to taste. In the meantime, go practice the guitar. I've been Kevin O'Shaughnessy. You have been awesome, and I will talk to you again soon.